fans have swarmed into Daytona International Speedway for NASCAR's Busch Series to start its season. 43 cars are set to roll for 300 miles. Last year, Jeff Green's championship chase got started on the wrong side of the asphalt. Up and over he went on the 13th lap. In this race that always produces the unexpected, Michael Waltrip got turned around, sent topsy-turvy, flying through the infield here at Daytona. Takes more than Band-Aids to fix the damage to that car. Expect the unexpected today. Fox Sports brings you live the 43rd annual NAPA 300 to launch the NASCAR Busch Series for the year 2001 at Daytona International Speedway. We're close to the command to fire engines. Let's go right down to pit road. Steve Burns.
Mike, Jeff Green dominated this series last year, winning 6 times, but as you just said, last year at Daytona, upside down to start the season. Jeff, can you fix that today and win this race?
Well, first of all, we're going to try to make it to the end, Steve, with this Nesquik Ford Taurus. Been running good yesterday, and happy hour was good as anybody. So we're looking forward to easing our way up here through the race and not taking any chances. And hopefully we can see the checker flag and have an opportunity to at least finish in the top 5 or the top 10. And if we can do that, we'll have an opportunity to win, too. So that's what we're after.
Good luck, Jeff. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Daytona has been an all-or-nothing racetrack for Michael Waltrip. In 12 Busch Series starts, 7 DNFs, but 6 have been accidents. When he does finish, he finishes in the top 10. Today, Michael starting deep in the field. How do you manage your 300 miles to get this car to victory lane?
Well, I haven't been very good at that, Matt. I always get wrecked. Last year, I made it to about 10 to go, and some cat turned me over in the tri-oval. So my main concern is getting my belt as tight as I can and hanging on. Had great cars, great opportunities to win this race, and hopefully we can bring the Aaron's Dream Machine home today in victory lane, and it would be a good day for us, obviously. I look forward to this race, but, man, I get beat around a lot.
He hopes for that dream win today, Mike.
Getting set for the start. 43 cars at the ready. The last 6 winners in the field. Let's go trackside for the opening ceremonies.
Almighty God, we pause today to give thanks that you are our God, and we want to confess that we are your people. And so for the wonderful races today, for all who participate, and for all who make this possible, we pray that your spirit will abide with all of us. Shalom and amen.
And now, to honor America, singing alongside her constant companion, Rika, Miss Jenna Fetchy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we
in Iraq. And now for the most famous words in motorsports, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play in the NFL, the Grand Marshal of the NAPA Auto Parts 300, Terry Bradshaw. Gentlemen, start your engine!
And Terry Bradshaw has some Fox attitude, doesn't he? Hi, everyone, and welcome to Daytona. I'm Mike Joy alongside crew chief Larry McReynolds and a five-time winner of this race, Darrell Waltrip. And DW, we said expect the unexpected. The weather's unexpected today.
Well, that's what's driving me crazy. I had my car drive. It was 88 degrees yesterday, and I had my car driving. I was pretty happy with that son of a gun yesterday. And the other day it was windy, and I got it driving pretty. Every day I get up and I go to the track, the weather changes. Man, this is supposed to be about racing, not about weather.
But DW, I took good notes this week.
Oh, good.
I've never been in the garage area on race morning and seen so many changes going on. Nobody was happy with the way their car was doing yesterday. They didn't like the way it was handling. They didn't like the way it was running. They didn't like the way it would pull up in the draft. They're changing gears, springs, shocks. So now, not only do you have the unknowns of the weather change, you got the unknowns of the changes.
That's right. A lot of rookies in this field, some unknowns there. Most recent previous winners, though, are in this race. Crews move off to their positions behind pit wall, and the field will get ready to roll out onto the racetrack. We'll be right back to Daytona. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway live on Fox as you watch the field roll through turn number 1. High up on that 31-degree banking. And folks, your long wait is almost over. Tomorrow, the Daytona 500 live on Fox. Here's how they'll line up for today's NAPA 300 for the NASCAR Busch Series. The 98 winner, Joe Nemechek, on the pole, and two-time winner of this race, Randy LaJoie, alongside. P.J. Jones, Parnelli's son, makes his best career start, and Jeff Purvis, the runner-up in 98. Scott Wimmer and Jamie McMurray, two rookies, share the third row. 99 ASA champ Tim Sauter and Mike Dillon, who was 9th last year in row 4. Kevin Grubb, 8th here in 99, and Lyndon Amick. Row 6, Maine's Joe Bessie and sophomore driver Kevin Harvick. Row 7, 4th here a year ago with Jay Sauter and Jeff Green, the series champion. Bobby Hamilton Jr. makes his third Daytona start, and Mike McLaughlin has 5 Busch Series wins. Todd Bodine, the 97 runner-up, and Matt Kenseth, defending champion of the NAPA 300. Jason Keller, last year's runner-up in the points, and Kenny Wallace has 7 starts, 5 top 10 finishes in this race. Steve Grissom won this race in 96. Bobby Hamilton, father and son in the field, his first start since 95. 2 rookies in row 12, David Starr and Truck Series champ Greg Biffle. Elton Sawyer, 5th in 1990, and Blaze Alexander, a rookie. Rich Bickle and Michael Waltrip, 2 times a bridesmaid in this race. Ashton Lewis and Marty Houston, another 2 rookies in the 15th row. Mark Green, 8th here in 97, and the 95 winner, Chad Little. 2 more rookies, Brad Baker from Tennessee and California's Jimmy Johnson. Tim Bedoya and Larry Foyt from out of Formula 2000 and ASA. Chad Chapin makes his second Daytona start, and the 94 Series champ, David Green. 3 Green brothers here. Hank Parker Jr. and Tony Raines, the 96 ASA champ. Shane Hall returns to Daytona, first time in 3 years for him, and former ARCA racer Kelly Denton. Truck Series veteran Mike Bliss is a Busch Series rookie and moves into this field in 43rd position. Today, they'll race 300 miles, 120 laps, $1.6 million posted, and they'll go 50 to 60 laps on fuel. Preliminary laps underway. We'll be back for the start of the NAPA 300. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. Immediately following our telecast of the NAPA 300. Today, Fox takes you along for a ride with Hank Parker Jr., the General Nutrition Center camp, starting 39th in the field. And the Aaron's Rent onboard camera. They've rented one for Michael Walter, starting 28th today. Our Briggs and Stratton cam rides with Kenny Wallace, car number 48 from 20th position. And here's the defending champion of the race, the Visine cam on board Matt Kenseth from 18th spot. Our Dr. Pepper camera rides with Bobby Hamilton Jr., 15th starting position for the 26 car. And Kevin Harvick. The AC Delco camera sits 12th on the grid in car 2. Finally, Jeff Purvis from 4th position, our MBNA cam. Inside that Joe Gibbs Racing machine starting 4th. Let's go to the editor of Speedway Illustrated, Dick Berggren.
Thanks, Mike. Two drivers to keep your eye on today. Number 1, Californian P.J. Jones, son of Indy 500 winner Parnelli Jones, brother of midget standout Paige Jones. He loves big, booming, fast racetracks like Daytona. He will be tough today. But to win, he is going to have to pass pole sitter, local hero, Florida man, Joe Nemechek. Joe won this race back in 1998, second last year. He will be tough today as well. Let's go to Jeannie.
Well, Dick, there are two schools of thoughts in racing. Hang back and wait or make something happen right now, and the latter would apply to Kevin Harvick. But he's found some success, right? He's the 2000 Rookie of the Year, and because of the success, he's lived up to his nickname. Happy. It's easy to be happy with those kind of results, but because of his aggressive nature, it's very difficult for his crew. So that's why leading up to race day, he gives everybody a T-shirt that says, "Don't worry, here comes Happy," and he'll be coming at you from the 12th position. Mike?
Thanks, Jeannie. Car 74 has gone to the rear. Phil Parsons qualified it. Chad Little will start the race. The change of drivers puts him in the back. 75 degrees, 69% humidity, winds from the west 10 miles an hour. There's a line of showers coming across northeast Florida, but it will miss us, we hope.
Well, the thing, it's overcast, and yesterday it was in the high 80s, Darrell, when these guys was practicing. The track's not going to be quite as slick as it was today, and we're about ready to go green.
Pace car leads them down a 1,000-foot short chute from turn 4 toward the start-finish line. Left turn for the pace car, and here they come, 43 strong, to race 300 miles. Green flag, we're racing. Clean start. Nemechek gets away by 2 car lengths here.
Yeah, I know everybody's got high hopes, first race of the year, but Joe Nemechek will be really hard to hang with today. That's a fast car. It's a Pontiac, and it's on the pole by a significant amount. I expect Joe will be the man to beat.
The orange car low is P.J. Jones. The blue and white car tucked up behind Nemechek. 2-time winner of this race, Randy LaJoie.
Randy LaJoie, his car owner is Joe Nemechek, and Randy will run the full circuit for Joe Nemechek. And I talked to Joe this morning. I said, "Joe, whenever you've run good here, you've always had a dominant car." But he said, "Yeah, the problem is I give my driver just as good a piece this morning."
He got 2 dominant cars. That's better news yet. As you can see, he can sit there and pull these guys around there. They're 2 by 2 behind him. He has the luxury of moving from one side to the other, pick up whichever lane he wants. Obviously, since his team car is right behind him, he's going to help him the most. Try to pull him out of that 2-car pack there. Instead of 2-car side-by-side race. The thing we know about LaJoie, though, if he can pass his boss, he will.
David Starr drops off the racetrack, may go to the garage. He's reported to the crew that his number 16 is overheating. There's David Starr.
Boy, it's hard to believe he'd had that kind of problem on the first lap of the race. The second lap of the race, overheating already. He must have a major malfunction.
Dick Berggren?
Well, David Starr had trouble as well in happy hour last night. Lost the motor, missed most of it. How come? Overheating. So this is the second time this has happened to him in Speed Weeks.
Look at 23 coming up the inside behind P.J. Jones. Scott Wimmer, rookie driver, had a great qualifying run and positioned well up in the field right now, make that 7th place, 8th place for women.
One of the things we got to watch is these cars, as we said, they practiced in totally different conditions yesterday afternoon than what we're seeing today. So chassis setup on some of these cars, I'm sure it was changed last night, and now guys are wondering if they went the right way or not.
And what will really happen, Darrell, when the track is cooler and overcast, the cars will have more grip because the track surface is cooler, but also it'll make the cars tighter. You know, they'll push a little bit more. The front wheels won't bite quite in like they would yesterday, where the rear wheels was probably loose.
Oh, yeah. That's what they're going to fight today, is a tight car, because all of them are complaining about aero push off of turn 2 and off of turn 4, and that's going to, track conditions are going to enhance that today.
That inside lane is backing up. Why?
It's interesting how it goes. One race, it seems like the inside lane will go forward and the outside won't go anywhere. But here this year, most of the time, the high line has been the way to run around this racetrack. And I really believe it just keeps the engines wound up a little bit better. And you know what? We haven't raced up there for so long. We've always run right around the bottom. I believe there's more grip up there.
Look right here. This is looking out the front of Kevin Harvick's car right here. Did you see the car up there on the inside sparking out? This track is very bumpy. Now, these cars have to run a minimum rate springs, 1500s in the front and 415s in the rear, but still you're trying to suck them down with shocks, get them down low where they'll go through the air, and when they go across the bumps, especially in the lower groove, they'll bottom out.
I had one crew chief tell me that 1 pound of air out of his tires, he bottomed out. 1 pound of air in his tires, and he didn't bottom out. They're all going to start on low air pressure.
And I will say, as they run, we may see the bottoming out get less because the air pressure builds up in the tire.
Tire builds up, fuel burns off, and the car doesn't ride down into the ground, doesn't bottom out so bad.
Kevin Harvick, you're riding with him. He's fought his way up to 5th place.
But as smooth as this place looks, I want you to know, it's like riding a wave. It's like riding in a boat across water. It's got wakes in it, little bitty bumps, and they make the car porpoise, front to rear, front to rear, and that's what causes them to bottom out. That's also what causes them to wreck. Yeah, a bump you barely feel at 60 miles an hour becomes a huge issue here at 175. Well, the tires have got 55 pounds in the right side and 30 pounds in the left side, and there they see that car hop up and down. That after a while, when the tires wear down, the track gets a little heat in it, can drive you right into the fence. Trouble, front straightaway. One car turned, slides for the infield wall, and pounds it hard. That's 25. Car. Chad Chaffin and the 28. This Baker down here in the Vanderbilt car, and Chad Chaffin, and guess where they race at all the time? Nashville. 2 Nashville guys just got into each other, took each other out. Darrell, there's Elton Sawyer coming around on the track apron. One of those cars, Darrell, got loose up in the bumps in turn 4 and started to come across in front of the other. That's what happens. They start moving around, and the driver has to yank on the steering wheel, and he gets that thing. I hate to use this term because people say, what are you talking? The hospital hop, but they get to hopping into each other. Let's have a look. Here we come.
Like the car in the bottom just got up into Chad Chaffin there and got him loose up into the wall.
Sure did. That was Chad Little, 74, that got against him.
And actually, Baker had nothing he could do. Chaffin came across in front of him, and he clipped him. That's unfortunate for both of them because they're both just victims of circumstance.
Baker's car appears undamaged. Look at the top of your screen.
Actually, he gets forced into the wall back here by this car, and that drives him down, and then this Baker car gets into him.
And look at the 28 cars. He gets backwards. You see the 2 flaps come up on the roof? That's the roof flaps. That was this thing that was developed by Roush Racing and NASCAR several years ago. Works a lot like a flap on an airplane and settles the car back down.
Yeah, and he's going to have to pay Mr. France quite a bit of money because he tore up that nice logo out there.
Now, Elton Sawyer will come around to the pits for attention on that Brad Akins, number 98. Chad Chaffin, the 1995 Nashville Speedway late model champion, and in that 25, and Brad Baker. Looks like he does have some front end damage.
Not bad, though. That car can, I think they can get that car back in action. That's just grill damage. They'll tape it up, and I think he's going to be good to go. He's got to have 4 tires.
They're going to have to get that roof flap back down, though. NASCAR won't let them go back out till those are back in positions. There it goes.
First caution of the day comes out at lap number 7. Chad Chaffin and Brad Baker. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. Welcome back to Daytona. This first caution will be a brief one. Well, it'll take more than tape to fix Brad Baker's car now, as they didn't have the hood pins in place when they sent him back out. Jeff Hammond?
Yeah, Mike, just watching, and as we come along here, they said Chad Little had moved up. I believe that this car right here created that situation. I think that whenever Chad came around, he tried to move up out of the way.
That car was Elton Sawyer's, and Sawyer was trying to get to the pit, and that did create somewhat of a squeeze play up in turn 4 for the cars coming along up in the lane.
That's when the crew chief said, what happened? He said, man, I don't know, we got all wadded up.
Steve Burns, what happened to Sawyer?
Mike, bad news for Busch Series veteran Elton Sawyer. His day is officially done. Elton radioed into crew chief Ricky Byers, thinks they've burnt a piston. He's already taken that number 98 car to the garage.
You know what's unique about that, Darrell, is that's a Ford, and their motors are being built by the Cosworth people in California that actually builds the motors for Formula One. So this is their first venture, but they didn't make it very long.
Yeah, well, one of the things, Larry, back to the weather. We got a little lower humidity today. We got better air. You're going to make more power. You got to jet that carburetor up, or you'll burn that engine up. And that's maybe why some guys are running warmer than they were yesterday, and why that cat burned a piston.
Joe Nemechek has led every lap so far. Let's find out what Kenny Wallace's crew and spotter have been instructing him during this caution period.
Hey, Herman. Yep. He said he was sorry. He tried to hit you. He's going to pit. He's sorry.
Just tell him, man, you don't be running this stuff 3 wide right now. Tell them these cars don't have that aero package like the Cup cars. Quit trying to do that crap right now.
Herman is Kenny Wallace's nickname, and there are the spotters high atop the roof. The aero package is the aerodynamic package, and these cars there vary significantly from the cars in tomorrow's Daytona 500.
Well, one of the big differences you see across the roof right here, like on Winston Cup cars, there's no roof fin up there, which puts a lot of drag in the car. Also, these cars run 55 degrees of spoiler, where the Winston Cup cars run 70 degrees of spoiler. So that's 2 big differences in these 2 cars.
Here's a tale of the tape between the Winston Cup cars that'll run tomorrow and the Busch Grand National cars, which are 100 pounds lighter. They run a smaller restrictor plate on the carburetor, and they have a shorter wheelbase. Jeff?
Yeah, guys, and one of the things we were talking about a little earlier in these Busch cars has to do with they can also run a rear spoiler configuration that makes them different from Winston Cup cars. So they also got a very much a different handling package than what we do in the Winston Cup.
Well, single file restart minus Brad Baker here.
Yeah, here we go. We got a green flag start, and we're back to racing. Let's get some racing going here, guys. What do you say? Let's see some action.
Without that roof fin, as Larry McReynolds calls it, these cars are a little tougher to draft off of and pull up and pass.
Well, and the reason with the roof fin, it pokes a bigger hole in the air, and the cars are able to pull up. With the cars being a little smaller configuration, just the way I relate it is if you drove a car through a brick wall, which car would knock the most bricks out? The one with the roof flap, it pokes a bigger hole in the air. These Busch cars don't do that, and that's a lot of times why they can't draft back.
Now, you crew chiefs always talking about going through a wall. Man, I'm trying to stay off the wall. Give me a break.
Look at that 20. Mike McLaughlin started 16th. He's moved up to 7th. You're riding with the defending race champion, Matt Kenseth, out of turn 4.
Got a feeling we'll hear from him before the day's over with.
When they go across them bumps right then, you could actually hear the RPMs come up because the rear wheels actually lift up off the pavement right there.
And these cars are a little bit more sensitive to that because these cars are a shorter wheelbase. They're 105 inches, so the wheels, front wheels and the rear wheels go through those bumps a little bit quicker.
Up front, a 6-car breakaway. In front of that double file pack behind them, Jeff Green, the series champ, is part of that breakout in the yellow car in 6th place. Nemechek has led every lap so far.
And guess what? He's got his teammate right there with him, pushing him right along. There are 2 good cars. He could run that way the whole race.
Randy LaJoie in 2nd, Jeff Purvis in 3rd.
Now, he won't, I might add, but he could. So somebody will get going here in a minute and get up there and race these guys. Purvis is riding along there, and we watched him in practice. He's got a good car. We haven't heard anything out of Jeff Green yet. We know he's got a good car. A couple other guys back in there that as soon as things shake out a little bit, they'll go racing.
You see Bobby Hamilton there in the 08 car. Bobby, I was talking to him this morning, a lot like other drivers this week. He's got a stomach virus. NASCAR is very discreet about who they'll let you put in his car, especially without any practice. So he has the gentleman that drives in the truck series for him standing in his pits, Joe Ruttman. But you know what, Darrell, what I've learned with drivers, if their old car is driving good, old stomach feels a little better. That thing ain't driving no good. It's like, why don't you get Joe ready? Let's put him in this thing.
That's exactly right. And plus, Joe's quite a bit bigger than Bobby, so he'd have a hard time getting in there. But see how that car is hopping along there? That's the shock package it has on it. And if you can see the back end of the car, we'll get a shot of it maybe going down the straightaway here. The back end of the car is actually lower than the front end. See how much lower it is back here in the back? Sucked down in the back. That's to make it go fast.
When you get that rear spoiler out of there, it's going to run fast.
She picks up speed.
Joe Nemechek has led every one of the 13 laps so far. Meanwhile, the driver who finished 6th in last year's points is the first casualty of this race. Jeannie Zalesko.
Elton Sawyer, what are you doing packing up so early for Rockingham?
Well, Jeannie, I'm not real sure. I think we burned a piston, but it's really unfortunate. These guys have done a great job all week. The starter Hot Tamale's car was handling extremely well, just trying to find a lane to get in there the first part of the race. And I don't know, the motor just let go. But it's a long season. I'm really proud of these guys for the effort they put forth for Daytona. And I'm hoping that Rockingham will be a little better.
Real quick, what's the condition like? The weather changed on you today.
Well, obviously, it's a lot cooler. The racetrack's going to have a lot more grip to it. So cars that were slipping and sliding yesterday, they're going to handle a little better today. But our car was really good. Ford was great.
We'll let you get back to work.
Our Fox box in the upper left of the screen in NASCAR racing will show you laps to go and track condition, which right now has gone yellow due to a shower that's passed over the speedway.
But it's coming down pretty hard over there right now. Didn't y'all hear me holler rain? I've been calling you, Larry, telling you to tell NASCAR it's raining.
That's what them drivers will tell you. But it depends on where you're running on the racetrack.
Well, I was running about 15th place, and I wanted a caution, man. Get that caution out.
Second caution of the day. This one at lap 14. And this one for a shower that's come across. Now, there is a light band of showers running from the Tampa Bay area up toward Jacksonville and then out into the Atlantic Ocean. We're right on the tail edge of it, so some dark clouds occasionally come over the speedway, but this is not expected to delay this race for very long.
Here's your weather. Here's Daytona right here, and there goes your weather that way, so hopefully we'll have it out of here shortly. But you know what? Bad news for these guys, good news for the Cup guys, because tomorrow's supposed to be much cooler and low humidity. And let me tell you, a driver yesterday was going through a lot because the crew chiefs would not allow Larry to tape up. He didn't want any air coming in the car. They didn't want any NACA ducts open. They didn't want any coolers in the car for the driver.
Well, what we do, we put ducts that blow air in on the driver, blow air in his helmet. And we're going to have some pit stops here, but them ducts are drag, and that hurts the speed of the car. Dick Bergman, what are these guys doing on pit road?
Well, they're all getting ready to come in, put some tires on it, put some fuel on it. They've only got 3 sets. That's all they're allowed to use. And we're going to have 3 of the top runners here all at one time on pit road. Joe Nemechek, your leader, on top. And in the middle, it's Harvick. And let's go to Matt.
The 2 car is in, Dick. They are looking at only doing a 2-tire stop. He says the car is very good, just a tick tight. And he's down and away, Steve. Oh, a little slow off pit road to Steve.
Matt, Jeff Purvis will take 4 tires. Shane Westerberg, Dave Hansen changing the tires. Jim Gilbert, the gas man, 4 tires, no chassis adjustments on the 18 of Jeff Purvis.
Well, that will shake up the order. Look at the pit times. Nemechek, 19 seconds for a 4-tire stop. That will put him back in the field.
And you might say, why would these guys, it's raining, they've only run 15 laps, why would they pit? Okay, I'm asking Larry, why did I pit?
Well, I don't know, because we've run 14 laps, but remember, 4 of those laps was under caution. In a rule they have in Busch Grand National, unlike Winston Cup, you only have 3 sets of tires that you can change under caution. Now, under green, you can change all you want to. Winston Cup, you can change all you want, caution or green. So you got to kind of manage your tires. So now these guys are sitting there with only 2 more sets of tires to run a little over 100 laps.
Jeff Hammond, would you have come in for tires now?
Yes, I would have. I took advantage of the situation because you got to realize something. A lot of these guys may be thinking this may only be half a race today. So they got to get themselves in the best possible position to run for the halfway point, which makes the race official. So therefore, maybe a little bit of strategy going on here.
Jeff, you think something else they might be thinking? It's a 120-lap race. A lot of them talked about they could run maybe about 52, 53 laps. What this does do, especially with cautions, it puts them in the fuel window. In other words, the people that just pitted can make the rest of the race on one more pit stop.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're both wrong. You're both,
Hey,
let me tell you what's going on. Here's what's going on. The driver's been complaining ever since they dropped the green flags. Thing's pushed like a dump truck. I can't drive it. So he gets a caution. He says, caution comes out. We're going to come in. We're going to pull all those spring rubbers out. We're going to take a little wedge out. We're going to change the air pressure, and you, my man, will be good to go.
Well, Larry Mack, I think you and Doug Richard think alike. Doug is a crew chief for Jeff Purvis, and we heard them on the radio say, yeah, let's go ahead and come in, put on 4 tires, and get gas, because this does put us in our fuel window.
Well, don't discount Darrell Waltrip's advice. He won the fastest NAPA 300 ever, 1978. The average speed was a blistering 162.6 miles an hour, and that speed included pit stops and caution flags. So, 5-time winner of the event. Earnhardt's won it 7 times. And we're going to red flag this race. We believe that would mean that all of the cars need to fall in line on pit road behind the pace car and stop and shut down. The 1 mechanic per car will be allowed out there to service the driver and cover the car. Otherwise, no work can be done on any car during a red flag condition.
Well, I would have stayed out. I don't care what my crew chief said, because you know what? I'd be leading the race. You know who we'd go down and talk to first? The guy leading the race.
Who is Scott Wimmer, the rookie.
Wimmer.
And Blaze Alexander right behind him. Now, Wimmer did not pit, so he will be the leader when this race resumes.
And I might be able to lead this race for a couple of days. You never know.
The NASCAR rule requires that for this race to be official, they must complete half the advertised distance, which would be 60 laps, 150 miles. Otherwise, they'd come back and complete this. Now, not all the cars have made pit stops, and now everyone is filing in to take up their position at the end of the line for this red flag condition. Once they are all stopped, that's when the red flag will go out, and no work can be done on any of these cars until we resume under yellow.
And they have to get them. There's a yellow line in the pit lane there that is just like the start-finish line out here on the track. And they have to get all the cars on the other side of that start-finish line so they'll be scored properly. Any cars that stop back behind the start-finish line would be shown basically a lap down.
All cars have electronic scoring transponders. If you're in the New York area, that fast lane program where the automatic toll collection, you have a little transponder on the windshield. We also have it down here in Florida, Easy Pass it's called in some places. Very similar item on each one of these race cars to automatically score them. And on Thursday, in the 125-mile qualifiers, we knew within seconds that Mike Skinner had beaten Dale Earnhardt Jr., and we knew it was by 4 1/1000ths of a second. No waiting for replays, slow motion, or photo finishes. It's right there.
Hey, Larry.
NASCAR still uses backup systems. They still got people in a scoring stand in case the transponders fail, scoring the cars with pencil and paper. They also, should they have a photo finish and the transponders fail them, they've got a camera that's filming every car that goes by the start-finish line. But I will say, over the past few years, Darrell, the transponders has worked great.
They have. They've got that system pretty well perfected now.
There's series champion Jeff Green walking away from his car during this, what we hope will be brief intermission. Joe Nemechek has led every lap up till now. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
Welcome back live at Daytona, the NAPA 300 getting ready to go again after an hour and 28-minute rain delay. As you get a look inside at what the drivers are doing to continue this race. A rookie leading as we return to our setup. Ken Squire, tell us about the rookie class. We have 6 rookie drivers in this race today.
Yeah, and when you talk about rookies in this race, remember they've had a 4 to 7 year undergraduate program before they move on to this Daytona Super Speedway. But the thing that interested me was row number 3. There's the Scott Wimmer, who is now leading, and beside him James McMurray, and between them there is one Super Speedway start, and the guy directly behind them, Timmy Sauter out of Wisconsin, in 7th spot on the start. Until yesterday, he had never drafted. So those 3 rookies are doing very well. We've covered 47.5 miles in this race. They've been staying up there and staying out of trouble.
All right, let's go upstairs to Mike Joy. Mike?
Here's Randy LaJoy in to tighten up those left side lug nuts, Dick.
Well, I want to point out here that the reason they didn't do this while we had that red flag is the crews are not allowed to touch the race cars under a red flag condition. They would love to have gone over it, but they could not do so. And they got the lugs tightened out, put some more fuel in it, and he'll restart absolutely dead last. Mike?
Darrell, what's the big disadvantage to being out back when they drop the flag?
Well, two things. They'd have never caught that if they hadn't stopped the cars on pit lane. So the inspector's walking around. He sees that on the pit lane. He had to come back in. Now, I won a 125 here in 1976 because I had to come in something similar to that early into a run, early into the race, and I thought my day was doomed. And in fact, it went green, and I never had to pit anymore, and I won the 125. So you never know. Being in the back isn't all bad. It'll just be, you have to be a little careful and not make any real crazy Randy LaJoy moves.
Work continues on some of these cars on pit road as we're getting close to a green flag and resume the NAPA 300. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
Hi, I'm Michael Waltrip. What are the 5 keys to building a great Winston Cup team?
At night isn't for everyone.
I'd rather have hemorrhoid surgery.
And only at Titus at 8:30 Fox Tuesday.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. One day remains to the 43rd annual Daytona 500 on Fox. Scott Wimmer, only the second driver to lead this race. Joe Nemechek led all the green flag laps, 15 of them. When the caution came out, Wimmer assumed the lead as Nemechek and some of the other front runners pitted.
That's a pretty good hot rod. I'll tell you that. Bill Davis got a good car, picked up a new sponsor for this race, and we're going racing.
Green flag.
You saw the orange car drop down, but you cannot pass to the left till you cross the start-finish line. Evidently, his spotter was saying, get back and run, get back and run.
Yeah, all passing has to be to the right-hand side. Sometimes you get a good run on a guy and you forget that.
Here comes Harvick from the inside row, looking for second place. Got it.
Look at that one car up on the outside there. Well, I think he may have been blocked.
Scott Wimmer pulls the train around Daytona International Speedway. Kevin Harvick is second. 3 cars single file out front.
It's kind of when you tippy-toe just a little bit. I mean, the track's still got some moisture around it, but nothing that's going to hurt these cars. Nothing's going to bother them. But still, it's a distraction to the driver. It's on his mind. He has to be a little attentive at first.
Up to third, rookie Jamie McMurray. That 27 car has been in the top 5 all day.
You know, looking at Scott Wimmer, I talked to Bill Davis, who owns his car, and he said the biggest thing he's had to adjust to is he's never had a crew chief to relate to. He drove the car, he made the decisions, he got out and made the changes.
That's typical ASA racing where you know, like I said, it's him, his dad, and his brother. They just work on it and race it.
Four cars now at the front. Double wide from there on back.
Larry, these cars seem to want to get into you know, they've been in there. That's Brad Baker. He's been working on his defensive line, his front bumper. These cars seem to get in single file a little bit quicker than what we've seen the Winston Cups do. They seem to, maybe the aero package with these cars doesn't allow them to do all that side-by-side racing.
Just again, I think they won't pull back. They won't suck up in the draft. There you see, I believe that's Jeff Purvis in the Joe Gibbs car pulling the line to the inside.
Do you think it's that, or you think they just ain't got this clearance?
Could be a little of both.
Here comes Purvis. This is Nemechek. You see his red bumper nestled right up against Purvis. Coming off turn 4.
Boy, that's a rough. Look at that choppy ride that thing's coming across those bumps. That's it. All that rebound and those shocks. That's what makes them go fast. Makes them ride rough, too.
Purvis climbs to third. Now he's making Kevin Harvick nervous.
Taking Joe Nemechek Nemechek with him. That inside line, they picked Harvick up to the top side. The inside line is really moving.
Well, I think because of the rain, the cooler temperatures, now you can run the low line again because there's grip back down there. Oh, here we go. They want to make a lead change down the back here. They're fighting for it.
But remember, these cars are slipperier in the draft than the Winston Cup cars, so it's harder to pass.
And we have a headwind now, too. The cars are buffing a headwind down the back straightaway. That could have some effect on the passing, too.
We talked about hard to pass, but I know it's early, but we need to keep an eye on Joe Nemechek. He restarted this race here after the caution. Here we go, 3 wide down the front stretch.
That's Bobby Hamilton Jr. on the inside, that red car. And caught in the middle, Jay Sauter.
Jay Sauter says, what did I do to deserve this? How did I get myself in this mess? Although he seems to be able to drive right out of it, and I know that Junior give him a break there, let him in line. Worked for him.
I know we talk about 3 wide a lot, and why that's dangerous. The racetrack's plenty wide as they snake down the back straightaway here. Scott Wimmer is not going to let them have that first place position. The racetrack's wide enough for 3 cars, even 4 cars, but the way these cars jump around, if they get a little bit loose there or the front end pushes, they're into another car. That's when the big one happens.
Yeah, you got to have a little margin for error there, and we're not allowing ourselves much when we're 3 and 4 wide.
Boy, the Vice Titans from 8th place on back. That yellow car is Jeff Green battling McMurray, who dropped 2 spots from the restart position.
Well, Larry and I watched that yellow car right there, Jeff Green, yesterday in practice. He probably ran the most laps of anybody out there, and he's got a pretty fast hot rod. I think he'll pull his way right to the front.
Well, let's listen in at these 420 horsepower machines as they rattle around Daytona. Let's crank it up.
Have you ever done any juking and jiving? Well, these guys right here are juking and jiving. They have been into each other, bouncing off of each other, bounced off the wall. That's in that. Keep a camera right there. The 8 is hung in the middle, and he can't go anywhere. And boy, they come down this front, especially down. Now watch this. Whoops! Whoa! Oh man! Good thing he didn't have another coat of paint on that thing.
Now at the front, 4 cars have broken away from the field. We have yet to see a green flag lead change in this race. Scott Wimmer took the restart on point. Jeff Purvis has not been able to take the front spot away. Joe Nemechek is with him and P.J. Jones. And they've opened up a second on the field.
Well, what you hope for, I mean, ideally, you'd love to get about 3 or 4 guys together like those 4 cars are and get away from all that action behind him. But I think these cats behind them are smart enough to know they got to get single file, and they better do it quick.
Well, they're finally getting single file, and they are starting to run that group down, those top 4 cars, even though they're single file. When you get as many, which looks like right now about 2 dozen cars behind them, you can run 4 cars down.
Remember, Randy LaJoie, number 7, right in the middle of your screen there.
He's right here.
Had to make that pit stop.
That wasn't him.
They're here. Had to make the pit stop to tighten those left side lugs. He's had to come from the tail end of the field on the restart. LaJoie has only been able to make it up to 32nd place. Now he moves past Michael Waltrip, picks up another spot. But it's a long road to climb toward the front.
Oh, Mike's car doesn't seem to be running too good today.
No.
Blowing by him left and right.
30 laps complete this time by. 30 laps, 75 miles.
You know, one thing we hadn't talked about, especially when you look at these lead 4 cars, is, Darrell, they're all Pontiacs. And in qualifying, 10 out of the first 11 cars was Pontiac. Why? Because it appears the center of the spoiler in the center where the air hits causes drag. Won't let it go down the straightaway. On the Pontiac is just a little bit lower than the other makes, and I think that's one reason. One, a lot of people come here to run Pontiacs. Two, the Pontiacs are running up front.
Yeah, a lot of teams, those 11 teams are all cars that'll probably switch back to a Monte Carlo or something else at other racetracks. But here the rules favor the Pontiac.
For more on our race leader, Scott Wimmer, Steve Burns.
Darrell, you're talking about the ASA, the American Speed Association. That's the same division of stock car racing that produced Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin. Scott Wimmer grew up working on race cars. He knows every nut and bolt of a race car, knows how to put them together, and so far he's showing that he knows how to drive one. Matt Yoakum.
Steve, before Pontiac's out front is the worst nightmare for many of the Chevrolet teams. They had predicted that if the Pontiacs ganged up, they could pull away. Right now, the 2 of Kevin Harvick is hoping that his drafting buddy, the 10 car of Jeff Green, can get up there and help him, because together they were very good in happy hour. It didn't matter if the 10 was in front or behind the 2. They worked very well.
Mike McLaughlin in the 20 moving up alongside Harvick. That 20 had a bare quarter panel yesterday, was unsponsored as of yesterday afternoon. That's changed.
You know, I could always work on my car too, but I didn't let anybody know it. I'd let somebody else do it.
Another fellow Scott Wimmer brings to mind, Alan Kulwicki, the 92 Winston Cup champion, who built and worked on his own cars in ASA all the way up through winning the Winston Cup championship.
That's a prime example right here what we saw. Darrell, 6 cars is better than 2, because when Mike McLaughlin moved to the high side, those other 5 cars come with him, and away they went right past Kevin Harvick and Jeff Green.
The high side is just this year down here, which is a difference. The high side's the way to run.
That second group, Darrell, is catching that lead quartet.
Yeah, it's you'd like to be able to get away from everybody, but I tell you, it's going to take special effort to break away from the pack if everybody will get drafted like those guys behind them are. As long as they can run their cars wide open, they'll be able to catch back up. And that's what you look for. You let the guy in front that can run the turn wide open. That way you fall back a little in the turn, but you can draft back up on him down the straightaway, and you both will make good time that way.
There you see McLaughlin, the black car, leading the second pack. They are just about 12 car lengths back of the lead 4. Still a lot of battling back on through the pack.
And you know, we talk about running wide open. There's only 2 racetracks that we go to where you can literally hold the throttle all the way down, all the way around the racetrack without lifting. That's here in Talladega. Everywhere else, that's a part of the driving style that every driver has, is how he finesses the throttle, how he gets in the turn, how he gets back on the gas.
What a difference, though, in the aerodynamic package between the Winston Cup and the Busch car. Today, we've gone 34 laps without a green flag lead change. Tomorrow, I'll bet we don't go 3 laps without a lead change.
Tony, we might even make it to turn 3.
And you know, that's when you have to give NASCAR a tip of the hat. They knew they needed to do something, and this is living proof right here that they did the right thing.
Rookie Scott Wimmer leads them around to complete 35 laps. Jeff Purvis in second, Joe Nemechek, P.J. Jones. Mike McLaughlin keeps drawing that second pack closer to the front. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. Welcome back to Fox Sports coverage of the NAPA 300 at Daytona. Tomorrow, the Daytona 500. Well, Mike McLaughlin has pulled that second pack right up onto the leader. And here they come with McLaughlin now climbing his way up into 4th spot, dispatching pole sitter Joe Nemechek to 5th.
This performance by Scott Wimmer, what a story it is for a rookie driver. He's out of that Wisconsin area, up around Wausau. Gave us Dave Marcus, which gave us all that Sauter gang. He's 2-time a track champion on little tracks, like the 3rd mile up there at Golden Sands, and he was a track champion at Wisconsin Dells. But this is the first time in his life that he has ever been on a super speedway, and look at that cat travel.
His uncle was short track great Larry Dayton.
Uh-oh, we got to fight for the lead. Here we go. Going to get some action going here now. Everybody's tired of riding a little bit. Another guy's doing a great job. Jamie McMurray there. He's running along in
Listen, does he get the lead? He does.
Got it. He wanted that lead badly, and he went for it, buddy, and he's got it.
Now, P.J. Jones pulls up alongside Wimmer.
And one thing we've got to remember, Scott Wimmer did not pit that last time, so he's out there on a lot older tires than these other cars. That could be weighing on him right now, now that we're coming up here on lap 40. He's been out there a long time on those tires.
Yes, he has.
Right now, he just don't have any help, he does.
First green flag change of the day. Wimmer will get back in line, but back at 9th place. P.J. Jones, son of the 64 Indy 500 winner, has fought his way up to 2nd place. Matt?
He's a former 24 Hours winner, Mike, but before today, only one other stock car start here in Daytona. During happy hour, they did not have PJ out running with a lot of other cars in the draft because this is their best piece. They didn't want to take a chance with his inexperience of gambling on losing this car. He did very well sucking up to other cars, but he had trouble trying to make the pass. Today's going to be a very big learning experience for P.J. Jones.
One thing they did find, though, after happy hour is they had a gear, a third member that was burning up on them. They circulate the gear grease through the rear end to cool it, and they use an electric pump. And P.J., as he went out one of the practice sessions, he forgot to cut the pump on and burnt the rear end up. So they did make that change this morning.
Now, would you blame that on the driver, or would you blame that on the crew chief?
As the crew chief, I take it upon my shoulders to remind the driver to flip all the switches up, you know, his tachometer, his rear end blower, his transmission cooler, anything that needs to be cut on, electric fan, to me, it's on the crew chief's shoulders to remind him.
Well, that's why I said that, because I have done that very thing, and I've always felt kind of bad about it, but then on the other hand, I thought, well, why didn't you remind me, man? Got my hands full out here. You could have helped me out a little bit.
Got a lot on your mind.
I got a lot on my mind.
Joe Nemechek has his hands full. 3 abreast down to turn 1. And Nemechek gets shuffled back to 6th place.
So Nemechek was right up there, you know, fighting for the lead a little while ago, but he seems to be maybe struggling a little bit now. But look who's gotten into the picture. The old champ from last year has found his way to the front.
Number 10, Jeff Green, chasing last year's Truck Series champion, Greg Biffle. Biffle driving the number 60 car Mark Martin has had such great success with. And here's Matt Kenseth mixing it up.
We're talking about Wimmer, but another guy that's doing a pretty good job, I think, is the cat running 6, and that's Jamie McMurray. And he's another one of those Midwesterners. He's from Joliet, Missouri, and he's doing a pretty darn good job right now in that car, in that 27 car.
A 13-car lead pass. There's Biffle moving underneath McMurray, taking Jeff Green, number 10, with him.
And one thing that comes to mind when I look at those 2 cars, they're not team cars. And here Jeff Green, he's going to make it 3 wide to go below Biffle without any help. He's going to complete the pass going into turn 3. But Dick Burton, what are they saying about Greg Biffle?
Well, what they're saying about Greg Biffle is that he has had a lot of help getting that race car ready and getting himself ready for this event from Jeff Burton, the Winston Cup driver. Burton has taken it upon himself to get Biffle in the groove here at Daytona. He has been a constant visitor to the pits. He has been repeatedly on the telephone as well. Burton, the teacher, Biffle, the student. This is his first time ever at Daytona in a car.
A ring the bell, class is in session. As Kevin Harvick drives up through the middle in car 2, you see that Biffle has moved from 20th back to 26th, and now he's climbed the ladder to 10th place.
There's Todd Bodine in the 00 car, the Buckshot car. Doing a good job hanging in there today.
What I was saying, even though the 10 and the 60 there, Jeff Green and Greg Biffle aren't teammates, they both use Roush motors. And the thing that impresses me when I look at Jeff Green in the yellow 10 car is this is the champion from last year. Dominated series, but those guys pulled their belt tight, and they changed makes to the Ford cars this year. And here they are running right up front at Daytona.
75 laps to go. Oh, Jeff Green took Biffle downstairs. Didn't work. Biffle kept his foot in it. The 60 car moves up a spot.
It's kind of like a payback. Jeff did that to him going into 3. Biffle said, hey, I might be new to this series, but you're going to have to deal with me, baby.
1 green flag lead change as Purvis
Jeff Purvis from Clarksville, Tennessee, one of the nation's top late model dirt track drivers. Now in the Busch Grand National Series, he'll also be in the Daytona 500 tomorrow. And he is up front.
And you know, I tell you, we were talking about this yesterday as we watched practice. Jeff Purvis drove one of the best. Trouble, man, big trouble.
Big spin off turn 4.
It's Nemechek.
McMurray.
Oh, it's McMurray.
The rookie pinched the car down coming out of turn 4. No contact. Here comes the rest of the field to the caution flag. Without incident.
Look at that. Nothing but a flat tire.
He will have to have 4 tires, I promise. Wooded and flat is flat spotted.
He's going right into his pit stall.
Jeannie?
Well, they've made their way into the pit stop, and yes, indeed, they're going for what looks to be all 4 tires at this time. They're making it over the wall, going for the fuel instead. We're waiting for the damage to come over the wall. We'll share it with you. Here it is. Yes, indeed, that tire just has a nice big old hole in it.
Hear those air guns whirring, and McMurray pulls away. That is not a flat spotted tire. That's gone.
That's a worn out tire. Worn out from sliding down the racetrack with the brakes locked. Here we go. Let's take another look at it.
Watch on the inside.
He's right here. Coming off of turn 4. Looks like that thing just does that little snap loose thing, Larry, where the car gets to pushing, cranks into it, and the back end hops around.
It started bouncing, got loose. That's the reason 3 wide's dangerous. They was only 2 wide there. Had they have been 3 wide, there'd have been a lot more cars involved than Jamie McMurray.
Did a great job of keeping that thing off the wall, and it's going to get back and join the field.
And it's pit stop time with the caution flag out.
Guess what? He could be leading this race when they come back around.
After pit stops, I think we can explain why.
Yeah.
Dick Berggren.
Joe Nemechek on his way to the pit. This is a new crew this year. Many of his older crew members went off to enjoy his teammates. As a result, this is the first time that they have really had an opportunity to pit under fire. Outside tires on. Let's go to Steve.
Dick, Jeff Purvis getting attention from Doug Richards' crew. 4 tires. Now it's coming around to the left side. No chassis adjustment. This number 18 Pontiac is running well. Left side tires going on for Jeff Purvis. The 60 car goes out. The 57. Now Purvis is finally down and away.
The 2 car was blocked in. He's now finally down and away, but a very, very lengthy 4-tire pit stop for Kevin Harvick.
And a couple of tires.
And we got tires everywhere. There's two tires out here in the infield.
Let's show you what happened to the number 2 of Kevin Harvick. Bobby Hamilton Jr. was pitted right in front of him. He didn't have room to get out, so he had to kind of K-turn it and take off.
Now, if you'll notice, folks, nobody's going to run out here and get these because they don't want the NASCAR people to know who they belong to. So their driver's going to get penalized for that.
Oh, those wheels are each marked with a car number.
Oh, they are.
Somebody will get it. There's McMurray's car going around.
There he goes, right there. He just cut it down a lot like what happened to Tony Stewart over in the qualifying race Thursday. He just cut it down and the back end hopped out. And Larry, like you said, he got to going through the rough part of the track.
But now I'm gonna make a call right here. He's on pit road right now. When he crosses that's on pit road. So the caution is not out. Heads up possibly by his crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe. NASCAR says that you can't come on the pit road when the caution comes out until pit road is opened by the pace car. But what I think those guys got their 4 tires, he may well have to lead at this race.
I think he does.
That replay from Matt Kenseth's car. And there is McMurray, the rookie, back out with fresh tires.
When you get down underneath somebody like that, the front end will it'll really start to push. You'll lose air off the front end, and the front tires feel real light. And as you crank into that thing, when the front tires bite, the back tires come around, and that's when you head into the fence.
3rd caution of the day. This one for rookie Jamie McMurray. Spin off turn number 4. He'll be back out there, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Daytona. 3rd caution is out. McMurray is the leader because he got out of the pits before everyone else came in. But NASCAR is reviewing the call. The caution flag may have been out for McMurray before he got to pit road, in which case, for pitting before pit road was open under caution, he may need to go to the back of the line.
And here's Jamie McMurray right here, off of turn 4, gets loose and spins. And again, if the caution flag's flying right now, they possibly have been making the right call. But right now, he's entering pit road. Here you'll see him go across the line. That opens pit road right there, and he's on pit road. Now, again, I think I would question his call. This is probably where I'd be out there doing my Bobby Knight impression on pit road.
Well, that's what this young man's trying to tell him right now. Hey, man, I slid on the pit road. What are you talking about?
But, Larry, he had lost such momentum and was traveling so slow. The leader did get the caution at the line, and that was well before he came.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you would tell is if you had a shot of the caution flag looking down toward Jamie McMurray to understand it. But, you know, they had to come pit road and get their 4 tires. And the penalty for pitting before pit road opens is exactly what they're trying to make him do now. Go to the the tail end of the longest line. But I would definitely I think Jason Rasmussen's doing right arguing this point.
Oh, sure. He's got a lobby for the call.
Yeah, I love it that I argued, but guess what?
Pace car's in, and we're going racing.
And he's in the back.
Green flag. Greg Biffle, your leader. Jason Keller, Jeff Purvis, Mike McLaughlin, and Joe Nemechek take him to turn 1.
See the white car 46, that's Ashton Lewis Jr. He was the only car that was a lap down and started on the inside.
Let's go down to Jeannie with Jamie McMurray's crew chief.
Yeah, Jason Ratcliffe, I'm going to let you argue your case here for us.
Well, they claim that pit road was closed when we came down pit road. Of course, when he got through spinning, he was already on pit road, so I don't understand it. I mean, we'll have to talk about it after the race is over. But I mean, right now we got to do what they say. Drop to the back. We're still on the lead laps. Guys did a good job getting the car back out there. We'll see what happens.
Thank you. Difficult to figure out how he could have made it around the track because 2 tires were out. Nick?
Brendan LaJoy, one of the pre-race favorites, is having his problems in the pits today. He has a brand new crew, and they have fluffed both pit stops. The first one, they didn't get all the lug nuts tight. This one, they let a wheel go. NASCAR penalized them, put him toward the tail. Steve?
Dick, Tim Sauter in the 61 is another one of those hard-working guys who came out of the ASA series. He's pitting right next to Jeff Purvis. The 61 came in and took just 2 tires. They're back up or into 4th position, Matt Yoakum.
Steve, some strategy on the 60 car of Greg Biffle. Crew chief Randy Goss decided to not pit for tires in that last caution. They just topped off the car with fuel because they did use 4 tires in their first stop. They felt like they got a late caution. They would not have a set to put on that was fresh.
Each team limited to 3 sets of tires in this race.
You know, Mike, I'm a big advocate of a tire rule. I wish we had one in Winston Cup. It's another part of the strategy of running the race. You got to worry about fuel. You got to worry about a lot of things. You should have to worry about tires as well.
I know I questioned the call earlier on some of those guys taking tires, but these cars had a lot of laps on their tires, and as we can probably see, Greg Biffle, he's already fell back to 12, so I don't think this gas and going is working out for him.
Not at this point. I mean, that was a good caution. That was a good time for a caution for everybody because they had made long runs. They could look at their tire wear, fuel mileage. They could look at a lot of things after that run. So I'd have been in that pit hollering. If my crew chief told me so, I'd have been in there.
New second-place car, Nemechek, the pole sitter, gets past Mike McLaughlin, and now he's hunting the lead.
And again, Nemechek's one of those guys that could, make some adjustments on his car. We know he has a fast car, and he led the race there early on, so I'm sure he'll be looking for the lead again.
That's Nemechek right behind race leader Jeff Purvis. McLaughlin on the outside. With P.J. Jones and Kevin Grubb, Nemechek now in that red car needs a drafting partner.
That's called hung out to dry. And he'll get a dry spot right behind that 10 car. And if there was no hole there, he may end up in 20th place. So what happens when you try to make a move and you don't quite make it?
Green flag running in the Busch Series with these rules a lot different than what we expect tomorrow in the Daytona 500. With the new Winston Cup aerodynamic package for Daytona and Talladega. As much single file racing as we're seeing right now, we expect a lot more lead changes tomorrow. Well, that 6-car breakout is no more. Now that lead draft has more than 20 cars along for the ride.
What you usually find, Mike, is as the race goes on, you catch a caution every now and then, guys will get their cars better, and they'll be able to keep up. That was a really timely caution for a lot of people. One of the reasons these guys don't run the aero package, Mike, is these guys don't have the money to spend that Winston Cup people do.
Right.
So this is the rules they ran under last year with some slight modifications, and that allowed them to run the same car here this year that they ran last year if they elected to.
5 lead changes today, and in the Busch Series, that's in sharp contrast to what we've seen in Winston Cup already this week. Look at the difference last year to this. In the Winston Cup cars, 40 lead changes in the 3 races thus far, only 5 at this point last year. A much more competitive Daytona 500 is on tap for tomorrow.
Well, I made the statement a year ago that in the stands, they needed to put cots because the fans was going to take a nap. But they don't even need seats this year because they ain't going to never sit down during the race.
Now, that's one thing that I've had added to my chair here in the booth. I've had me a set of seat belts put in mine, so tomorrow I'm getting ready. And an oxygen tank right here behind me.
Before Pontiacs have started to pull away, Mike McLaughlin called to his crew and asked, call Purvis and ask him, does he like to run up high or down low? Where does he run the best? And that's where I will go. Purvis called back and said, I'm good everywhere, wherever he wants to go. So right now, the 2 Gibbs cars holding down 1 and 2.
Yeah, let's not forget those 2 lead cars. Teammates, here's trouble for Bobby Hamilton.
The only reason he stopped there is because he's got a tire problem of some kind. He's got a tire out of balance or equalized or something.
A lot of side-by-side racing in that second pack. That's the reason for the gap between these cars and the leaders. Todd Bodine, 0-0 on the inside. And look at Kenton in 17, pushing Kevin Harvick all the way into turn 1.
That's what we call a little bit of bump draft. Go up there and just kind of nudge him a little bit. Just keep pushing him a little harder.
Yeah, there's some people I didn't mind doing that to me, but there were others that would take my breath away when they did that. Do you think Gibbs, this is the Joe Gibbs car leading the race. Do you think Gibbs has got anything figured out about this Winston Cup deal? Bradshaw was in here a little earlier. We should ask him about Joe Gibbs.
Got to believe that Joe Gibbs preaches the same thing he did as when he was a football coach, and that team concept, continuity of people, working together, pulling together. Because in this sport, if you're pulling together, it's hard to beat these other people. If you're not pulling together, you're not going to beat them.
Yeah, and Jason Leffler, you know, who jumped out of this.
Boy, did you see?
Oh, my God.
Got real loose right there up in the corner.
Oh, that was big. What was I going to say?
I don't know. We're all catching our breath. That was close to calamity. Boy, Jeff Green continues to climb this ladder. This time he's pulling Joe Nemechek there. That yellow car is Jeff Green, the series champion.
Got a new car that's kind of joined the lead group. We hadn't talked about him much. The green car there on the bottom, that's Kevin Grubb in the 37 car.
Larry, we watched him in practice yesterday, you and I did, and he had a very fast car in practice yesterday. You know the thing about that 10 car, Jeff Green's car, I believe if this thing will stay up under Green for a while, that he will be the man to beat, because his car keeps getting better and better and better. It's a Ford Taurus, and I think it's got to add a lot more downforce than some of these other cats do. It's going to work for him in the end.
He's gunning for second spot right now off turn 2 inside of Mike McLaughlin, and he's got help. Here comes Green.
The reason he can do that is he can run off that corner wide open.
And he's not going to settle for second. Jeff Green looking for the lead.
It's a man on the mission right there, boys.
But will he make it back to the line and make it the 6th lead change of the day?
He's got him some help, though, with Joe Nemechek. I'd say he will. We're going to be halfway this time. Halfway home, 60 laps down.
Come on, Jeff. Get to the line. Get to the line. Oh, you made it. Lead change.
He did by 4 1/1000ths of a second. That number keeps coming up. Look, right there on the monitor, 4 1/1000ths.
And Mike, making the manufacturer switch, Harold Howley, Jeff Green's crew chief, decided to pick this car up from Cal Wells' Busch operation because they were going to run Winston Cup this year. So this car has been in the wind tunnel several times, done a lot of aero work, and making that switch in manufacturers, they wanted to spend more time with their downforce stuff since there are only 2 restrictor plate races, Talladega and Daytona. They are very happy with this car. The 57 car was built, a carbon copy of this body. They were very pleased with both cars. And the 10 car runs very well out front, Dick.
Kevin Grubb is having a terrific run today in that number 37 car. He is staying up front much of the day. What a surprise, what a change from last year when, believe it or not, Kevin Grubb wasn't fast enough to make the field. He was a DNQ for this event.
That's right.
I want to be up here because I don't want to be back there to what's behind these guys.
Yeah, back here.
Oh, look at this. That's a mess. That's a wad of cars. And they're closing down on that front pack a little bit.
Jeff Green led 1 lap and proved what he had to prove, that he could get to the front. That's important because it's worth 5 bonus points toward the championship for each driver who leads a lap. Green led 1 lap. Once they confirmed that he'd led it, he dropped off to the back of that pack. 62 laps complete. Jeff Purvis is again the leader over McLaughlin, Nemechek, P.J. Jones, and Kevin Grubb. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. Welcome back to Daytona. 8-car breakaway at the front of the field as you watch from the Budweiser.com airship. Budweiser reminding all race fans, Bud is NASCAR's official beer. 6 leaders, 7 lead changes. Under Green, average speed 183 miles an hour. 37 cars still on the lead lap, and we've waited through an hour and 28-minute rain delay, but it's been worth it. We've had a great battle here, as right now 8 cars up on the point, taking it away from Jason Keller, leading that second pack in 9th place. And this is the lead pack, and they can't even stay single file for long.
No, and it's really, they've run just long enough now that the tires...
Whoa! There's Todd Bodine and P.J. Jones getting together. There's a case of that car jumping sideways coming up off the corner.
All these drivers complained about their cars being tight off the corner. And that's the worst thing that can happen to you here, because either you got to lift, scrape it into the wall, or hit the guy beside of you.
And Darrell Tight, you got those front wheels turned. The front wheels aren't just biting. The tires aren't biting. The only way you can get it to turn is back off just a little bit.
And you know, with the restrictor plate, if you lift, you're doomed. You can't go anywhere.
Further back of that pack, they were 3 wide going into turn 1. Look at this front pack. P.J. Jones lost a bit of momentum. Dropped him back a bit in the number 1 car, but he's fighting right back underneath that green 37 of Kevin Grubb.
Yeah, it's all about momentum right now. It's all about who's getting off the corners right now. That's why, man, I mean, Todd Bodine down on the inside in Buckshot's car is getting ready to spread a little buckshot.
Todd Bodine missed the Daytona 500 because he got bumped in that 5-wide melee on the last lap, got bumped out of a qualified spot. Now he's trying to get to the lead with Kevin Harvick's help.
Going to go up on the outside.
Bodine 0-0.
Oh, he looks to the outside, can't do it.
See if Harvick can give him the push down the straightaway. They have a look inside of Jeff Purvis. Not this time.
No, Purvis has pretty well got him covered right now. I say right now because it could change any moment.
Here's the second pack. They've gone single file to try and catch this lead punch. And they're working on it.
Well, look at the car that's leading the second pack, the blue and white car, the 57, Jason Keller. Those guys only got 8 laps of practice and happy hour. The alternator shorted out and burnt every wire under the hood out. They had to replace everything from the radiator back to the dash. The NASCAR says, here we go for a lead change.
Bodine on the outside. Purvis trying to hold him off. Bodine can't get there.
Purvis is strong up off that corner.
Todd Bodine needed somebody a little closer to his rear bumper for drafting help.
Yeah, you got to have some help, and he's just not getting it.
Now he's got Mike McLaughlin. Those two are old combatants in the NASCAR Modified Series before they moved up to Busch Series racing.
They can quit wobbling around and sliding sideways. They might get the job done, but, man, they got their hands full. These things are all over the place.
2 abreast, and that will allow that second group to catch the leader.
worst nightmare. All of a sudden you look in your mirror and there's somebody behind me.
Now it's everybody.
And that's when you holler at that spotter and say, why didn't you tell me they were closing down on us? I can't. I'm watching the race right now.
Now that lead draft has 15 cars in it.
Hey guys, I was just sitting there for watching a minute ago. I saw J.D. Gibbs of Gibbs Racing come down to the 87 car of Nemechek's and talk to Brian Patty to try, I guess, set up a deal as we go further in this race. I guess deals are already being made.
Well, the lead car is part of that Joe Gibbs operation. Let's go down to pit road. Pete?
And the key member of the Joe Gibbs Racing Winston Cup operation of Bobby Labonte, Jimmy Makar, is down here. Jimmy, how can you help Doug Richards, Jeff Purvis, and these guys?
Well, right now, it's kind of just talking about the track changes, what happened from yesterday to today. Kind of try to get a little information for ourselves for a happy hour to see what kind of way we may need to go on adjustments. But while I'm down here, we're talking a bit about pit strategy, what might be coming up, whether we get 2 tires, 4 tires, and see if we can get some partners to come down pit road with us if we indeed do get 4.
Thanks, Jimmy. Let's go to Dick Bergeron.
Jeff Purvis people were just down here in Joe Nemechek's pit, and they tried to cut a deal. I asked Brian Patty, have you guys got a deal? He shook his head no, said, nope, I don't trust anybody. They do not have a deal. They wanted to try to pit together. It's not going to happen. To Matt.
Dick, several laps ago, Harold Holley kept motioning to the pit next to him of the 00 and crew chief Gary Cogswell. They kept motioning. Finally, Cogswell came over and he said, why do we have a problem? Because we're trying to get him to stay in line, but the problem is the Pontiacs do not work well with the Fords, and that's why Buckshot's car will not work with the 10 car of Jeff Green. So Talbot I just pulled out. Now they're back working together, but the problem is the aero, as we've heard all week.
That 15-car lead pack is now down to 14. Steve Grissom's engine has gone sour. He's holding 15th place, but he's lost the lead draft.
And it may or may not have gone south. When you lose the draft, that's what it feels like. Like somebody pulled a couple of plug wires off of the thing.
There's the lead pack, 14 strong. Chase Sauter, 43, mixing it up with Matt Kenseth. Jeff?
Guys, what's going on here, because all these deals are trying to be made so early in this pit strategy situations, because if you lose a good dance partner, you're not going to have a chance to win this race. And everybody realizes that. We've seen all day long how hard it is to pass. And if you can't keep up with a good dance partner, you're going to be in a world of hurt.
The reason they're making these deals, and we talk about dance partners, just so you understand what's going on. Here at Daytona, you run so much faster with other cars or a group of cars that you don't want to pit by yourself and be hung out there alone running a second slower than the rest of the field.
You're saying game show host Monty Hall would have made a good crew chief?
Let's make a deal right now.
Yeah, and that's about what it is, because it's about a second's difference when you're in the drafting, with people and when you get hung out.
And even though we're several laps away from possible green flag stops, you can't wait till right to the last moment to make your deal. You got to start making it way in advance. And right now we are in the fuel window that if we did have a caution, everybody could pit, fuel, and tires and make it to the end.
9 cars are showing a little bit of a gap to those next 5. That 9th place car, that red 61 of Tim Sauter. And he has some breathing room on Brother Tay in 10th place.
When those leaders, when they get back single file and don't race each other, they leave that back 4 or 5 there. But when they get to racing each other like they did earlier, then they all close back up again.
Now Tim Sauter, 61. He's losing that front 8.
As long as these front guys stay lined up like they are right now, they'll pull away from these 5 or 6 guys at the back here. But they don't seem to want to do that very long.
They won't do it but about a half a lap.
You won't see that in tomorrow's Daytona 500. That field will be all snuggled right up with the new aerodynamic rules. Figuring fuel mileage on pit road. When to stop and who will come with you when you do? That's the question. We'll be right back. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. Jeff Purvis continues to lead the NAPA 300. One day till the Daytona 500, and we're going to be wall-to-wall NASCAR on Fox tomorrow. It all kicks off. NASCAR this morning, 10 a.m. Then the Dodge Countdown to Daytona, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The Dodge Daytona Free Race Show. At noon, you'll hear from all your favorite drivers, and then we'll bring you the 43rd Daytona 500 on Fox at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Purvis, Nemechek, and P.J. Jones have just a little bit of breathing room there on Todd Bodine. And they've pulled away now from 5th place Kevin Grubb.
Well, this may be the most important day in his career for Jeff Purvis. You know, he's been the master of dirt. He's gone to Rossburg, Ohio, and 5 times won that World 100 on dirt. He came so close in 1998 to running down Joe Nemechek in this very race. But at the end of the event, he and 3 others got together to try to run down Nemechek. Somebody got on the radio to Nemechek and said, hey, there's 3 guys coming up. They're intending to have their own party. Nemechek says, that's all right. I'll have my own by myself. And he beat the guy at the finish line. Purvis finishing 2nd in 98. This is his 8th try, and he's looking good right now out in front with Joe Gibbs' car.
Right in his tire tracks, Joe Nemechek, then P.J. Jones. Look at the different backgrounds of these front 4 racers. Purvis came from dirt late models. Nemechek from asphalt short track late models. P.J. Jones has raced Indy cars, and Todd Bodine open wheel NASCAR modified. But here they all are, all on equal footing. From Michael Waltrip on back, single file.
Yeah, these guys are, I don't know if they've scared each other to death. I think that's really what's happened. They finally got tired of scaring themselves, and they've kind of gotten sandied up here a little bit, and they're more single file.
13 cars in the lead draft. That 4-car breakaway now you see comes to naught because they've got single file behind the front 4, and they're pulling back down. Sucking up, I think Bobby Hamilton called it during the rain delay.
That's it. They're poking a hole in that air, and the other one's falling right through it. But, yeah, I mean, the pack has definitely thinned out. If we got 13 cars a while ago, we had 20-something. But what happened from about 14 back, they got to running side by side, mixing, passing, all into each other, and that group got away.
All right, Larry Mack, how long do you wait to pit under green?
You're going to see a lot of monkey see, monkey do with the leaders, you know. But with one car hits pit road, you can't be too far behind them. But if I'm the crew chief, we've hit it about lap 47. These cars can run about 52, 54 laps. About lap 100 to 105, I'm going to be in there, and I'm going to get me 2 tires. I'm going to get enough gas to go. Steve Burns, what are they saying down there?
Well, Larry Mack, the window is going to open up at about lap 90 for the Joe Gibbs teams. Now, both of the Joe Gibbs teams are going to make chassis adjustments by using duct tape. They're going to put tape across the nose of those Pontiacs to help them handle as we go to the closing laps of this race.
One of the things I can tell you that's going to dictate what everybody does, how good a pit crew do you have? What can we do?
How's the car driving right now?
It's driving good. Why? Where'd that come from?
That was one of the spotters talking to him. And again, the spotters, they do a lot of the driving of these race cars up there. They not only do they look for trouble, they're telling them high, clear, low.
Well, one of the things they want to do is they're starting to ask the drivers about the cars, and that's going to dictate what they do on a pit stop, too. 2 tires, 4 tires. Hey, maybe gas and go. Who knows?
Kevin Grubb, 37, try to run down almost the apron. On Todd Bodine, he's going to get underneath Bodine and move up, but that will let the front 5 get away from those 2 cars battling for 6.
Let's explain what adjustment they're going to make with the duct tape. They're going to put it across the nose where the air goes through to the radiator. What that does, the more tape you put on it, it decreases the drag. It makes it run faster through the air and also puts more front downforce. The reason they can do that is because the air is getting cooler and it's not taking as much to cool the radiator with a cooler temperature.
On pit road comes Mike Busch.
Well, let me tell you something. He's going to be coming back down pit road in just a minute because I don't know if he got knocked into the pits. That's what it kind of appeared like. But definitely too fast.
Brian Patty, crew chief for Joe Nemechek, has just gone down pit road. He's cut a deal with Jeff Green's crew chief and Kevin Grubb's crew chief. But here's P.J. Jones' crew chief, Johnny Allen, in here all at the same time. So here we go. The deal making is done. The guy in the yellow is with Jeff Green. The guy in the orange is with P.J. Jones, and Brian Patty is the guy in the red. And they're all trying to decide when do we come in. They're all going to have to do the same thing.
Trouble.
Turn 2.
Turn 2. 1 car spinning wildly. This will change everything as we'll go to caution. Torn up is the front end of Jay Sauter's car, number 43.
Todd Bodine and Buckshot 00 car.
He was the one that was sliding all over the place. It was Kevin Grubb.
Now, they have been battling side by side for 6th place.
See Todd trying to get out of the grass. Remember, it's rained here, and that grass is very wet. You don't get very good traction with these slick tires.
This happened going into turn 1. Grubb's car is green, Bodine's is white.
Here's Bodine out here. Kevin Harvick's right behind him. David Green down here a lap down.
Oops.
Up. He got a little bit of help from that car right there, Harvick. Now these cars come down the hill, it'll go right back up. Watch. Right into poor old Kevin Grubb, who had nowhere to go. And boy, look what a job Kansas did to get through there in Wimmer. Both those guys, certainly Kansas did a great job of getting through that wreck. See, Bodine is still trying to get back up out on the racetrack.
Here's another look from behind. Can't see any contact from this angle.
You know, I think I'd have to have me another look at that one, wouldn't you, Larry? That thing looked like it just started around with him. I know that the car right behind you, like, it'll make you loose, but boy, Kevin Grubb, what a shame,
nowhere
man.
to go, having a good run.
And then here comes Kansas right through there.
And Wimmer. 23.
Yeah, we're going to have to take a look at that before we...
Grab another gear and let's go.
That's it. And all that, even though that didn't look like a lot of smoke, or it didn't look like it... No, I believe he just went off into turn 1 and that thing got loose on him.
Right behind you. They're all around.
And what happens when you've got a car that close to you, especially on old wore out tires, it takes the air off the rear spoiler and it gets you loose.
A car can get really loose getting into the turn, and especially up high going into turn 1.
Now look at the front end of Bodine's car from coming up on the air. That will push a lot of air under that nose, and he cannot be competitive. Speeding time at the zoo. Pit road's open, Larry.
Speeding time, 4 tires, no doubt in my mind. How about it, Jeannie?
So much for the wheeling and dealing for car chief Johnny Allen and P.J. Jones. And yes, as you said, 4 tires up and over the wall. They're also saying that the car is a hair tight coming out of the turn, so they'll work on that right now as well. Dick?
Joe Nemechek is also going to take 4 tires. Crew chief Brian Patty just ripped the plastic off the windshield because the sun has just come out. To see you.
And Jeff Purvis comes sliding to a stop. 4 tires for the number 18 car. They are going to add tape, as Larry McReynolds explained, to get this edge just a little bit harder for the final run. They put the tape on, and he's away.
Caution flag pit stops at lap 85.
I love that first pit right down there at the end of pit road. You get in there, buddy, when they drop the jack, you don't have to worry about anything. You just jump over that line right there. First one there, that's the position. Whoa!
Steve Bobby Hamilton Jr., he's in his box, but I'm not sure it's designed to be parked that way.
That's spun right around coming into the pit. Hamilton may get a lesson in remedial racing there.
I guess you could service the car like that, Larry.
He's got all 4 tires in the box.
He is in the pit box.
I've never seen it done that way.
No. Darrell, let's look again and see if there was contact.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a better look here. Gosh, they're awful close together.
I don't believe he was on him when he got loose. I mean, he wasn't touching it.
You know, I believe he gave him a little shove and got him into turn 1 just a little bit. Took a little air off of him, gave him just a little shove, and it got him loose.
Now, let's show you Bobby Hamilton Jr. coming down pit road. Locked him up.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's pretty cool.
Like I say, I don't believe it's designed to be done that way, though.
Tell me, when you were a teenager, you didn't practice bootleg turns like that.
Yeah, that's the kid for you right there.
All right, we're under caution at lap 85. And we'll have a new restart in a moment. Welcome back to Fox Sports coverage of the NAPA 300. Opening round of the Busch Grand National Series. 87 of 120 laps, and after pit stop, Jeff Purvis gets out in front of Randy LaJoie, Mike McLaughlin, Lyndon Amick up in the top 5 for the first time today, and series champion Jeff Green. Now, Joe Nemechek is in 6th. He lost a few spots on that pit exchange. Dick Berggren?
It was a longer than normal, a longer than necessary pit stop. The problem, when Nemechek came into the pit area, he parked too close to the pit wall. Scott Glasscock, his jack man, had a terrible time trying to get it jacked up. Look at him. He's next to the pit wall. He's having to pump and pump and pump and pump because he can't do the one pump. Those are one pump jacks. He should have been able to push it down just one time, and he's been okay. And look at this. He gets run right out into the lawn by Jeff Green.
So that'll put Nemechek back to 6. Purvis came in first, went out first. Saw Nemechek's problem. P.J. Jones lost 4 spots. Kevin Harvick lost 7. And Mike McLaughlin picked up 2.
Yeah, but there's a young kid that lost more than all of those guys. What we were asking about the way he pitted in his box, you know?
Bobby Hamilton Jr. Jeff Hammond?
Yeah, Mike, what I've got here is NASCAR issues out what they call a pit road penalty card. And what it does, it shows how you guys can come into the pits and what's the proper way to get in the pit and what kind of penalty would go with it. If you get over the line, it's a 1-lap penalty. That's provided you start working on the car and complete it before you back up. You'll get penalized a lap. This is okay. This is a 1-lap penalty. And this here, you go around or a 1-lap penalty. And, guys, I couldn't find what Bobby Hamilton did anywhere on this card. So, basically, he had what they call a NASCAR safety violation. And that right there is NASCAR's discretion.
And that's a 2-lap penalty for Hamilton Jr.
And that'll be on the card next week.
I think it comes from spinning on pit road. They've always been hard on cars spinning on pit road.
Here we go, guys. Green flag.
We're going to restart at lap 88. Sun's out, Darrell. How will it change the racetrack?
Well, it could change a lot of things. I saw guys pulling a tear-offs off their windshield. You know, we got a couple of tear-offs on the windshield that we can pull off during the race. Saw some of them getting ready for the sun, and it could change track temperature. Maybe not dramatically because it's getting late in the afternoon, but it will change.
Talk about the 7 car there, Randy LaJoie. You know, his pit crew has been struggling all day long. They've left lugs loose. Probably the decision they made on this last caution was because of that. They elected to change only 2 tires. Maybe not because the car wanted 2 tires, because they needed some track position.
Here goes LaJoie.
That's for the lead. That 21 car is a lap down.
Purvis fights back on the outside.
Purvis doesn't want to give up that lead, boys. I mean, he's had it this long. He sure don't want to give it up now.
For LaJoie, that pit stop was crucial. He's fought his way from the back all the way up to the leaders twice. He was running 15th, 9 seconds back from the leader. He desperately needed a caution to punch the field up. The 2-tire change has put him right in the front of the hunt, and let's see what he can do with Purvis.
Ken, Jeff Green was a little bit tight over that last run. They made a track bar adjustment on that last pit stop, but the biggest concern was during that spin of top Bodine, the 43 car tagged the 10. The 43 of Jay Sauter tagged the 10 in the left rear corner. They thought it might have pushed the fender in slightly. They looked at it when he was on pit road, and he was okay, and back to the racetrack.
Battle for the lead. LaJoie on the outside. Purvis on the right of your screen.
LaJoie's got his car owner, Joe Nemechek, pushing him through there to the lead.
Didn't get it. Not at the line. Purvis led that lap. He's led since lap 61. Purvis on the low side reestablishes his dominance of this field.
Darrell, his car is so strong from the center of the corner out. I don't know if they've got a lower gear in that car, but that thing just really rockets up out of the corner.
I believe that's 2 things. I believe he can hold it wide open off that corner all the time, and I believe, like you, Larry, he's got a little lower cog in that baby than the rest of it is. Because he shoots off that corner.
Little lower gear means higher RPM coming off that corner.
Just for acceleration. Just gets a little bit better acceleration up off the corner.
Close in mid-pack, running 3 wide. That 61 of Tim Sauter was almost the pinball coming off turn 4. Cars either side the flipper.
Well, everybody knows that, you know, they're running out of time now, so they're going to take their best shot. And whatever that may be.
29 laps to go.
These guys that have been falling back here, losing the lead draft, they're driving desperately as hard as they can to try to hang on, so they know if they get in the right place, they can gain a bunch of spots.
7 cars, single file at the point. You're looking back at Randy LaJoie from race leader Jeff Purvis. Now they're back to single file, and the pack tightens once again.
Boy, there's some anxious moments goodness. I've seen cars, I've never been up here before, obviously. I've seen cars do things I didn't know cars did. I've seen them make moves and slide around and hit each other and get away with it. I didn't know they do that. I've always had tunnel vision. I could just see right straight in front of me.
Remember Chad Little, who started scratch on this field after the driver change. He's up to 9th place.
Man, that's a good car, and it's a good team. It's a championship-winning car.
Jeff?
Yeah, Mike, I believe I said that I thought Chad maybe have a good, strong car here today. He kept getting bounced around because of bad pit stops and I think some bad decisions early on. But much like Randy LaJoie, he's now gotten up there toward the front, and he's getting kind of hooked back up to some former teammates as far as Matt Kempis is concerned and Greg Biffle. So they've been kind of working good together last few laps. I've been watching.
Randy LaJoie in second, son of the Danbury, Connecticut race arena great Don LaJoie. He's in Randy's pit today. Had a wild ride here in '84. Came off the turn 4 in the 125-mile qualifier. Flipped the car about 7 times. Totally destroyed it. His comment at the end of it, wow, what a ride. Dick Berggren.
Talk about crew chiefs working together. Wally Rogers is the guy looking at us, smiling in the blue hat. He is crew chief for Randy LaJoie. On the outside, closest to us is Brian Caddy. He is crew chief for Joe Nemechek. Their two drivers are teammates. Caddy helped build Wally Rogers, Randy LaJoie's team. You can bet those two cars are going to work together right to the checkered flag. Mike?
They are second and third. The blue number 7 and that red and black 87. Teammates.
Now, unlike in Winston Cup, I believe that I would want to be in the lead here. I believe I'd want to hold the lead. I'd want to fight for it with all I had. And I think that's what Jeff Purvis knows, too.
Well, I don't know something we mentioned. Jeff Purvis, he did make the Daytona 500 in a great run in the 125. The irony of that, it come through the team of P.J. Jones in the 1 car. That's the team that will field Jeff Purvis tomorrow in the Winston Cup race.
And I don't know if I said this earlier, but Jeff Purvis drove what I thought in the 125 was one of the best races I ever saw him drive up until today. And he's exceeding that today. This is it's a great run for him. Clarksville, Tennessee boy up the road there. Franklin.
Single file up front. Doesn't look too busy, but look at this.
They're bouncing off each other. They know the race is getting close to the end. They've seen that front pack get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Folks, I just want you to know that is not normal. Those cars waggling and wobbling and bobbling around like that, that is not what we normally like to see or what we normally do.
Kenny Wallace, our Briggs and Stratton cam up on the high side. 77 Kelly Denton moves by underneath. They're 3 wide there.
They're 3 wide, and they got 2 hands full. Great big one.
Right. 7 cars, single file up front. They've created a big gap. Jeff Purvis picks up another 5 bonus points for leading the most laps in this race. 24 laps to go. Four drivers at the front trying to settle it among themselves. Looks like they're going to have some company when we come back. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. Following the NAPA 300, Daytona 500 final practice on FX. And tomorrow, NASCAR this morning, 10 a.m. Eastern on Fox Sports Net to get you ready for the Dodge Countdown to Daytona. 11:30 a.m. Eastern on Fox. Our Daytona 500 pre-race show will interview drivers beginning at noon Eastern time. And follow that up with the 43rd annual Daytona 500 here on Fox. Your new home for NASCAR. The first half of season 2001. Jeff Purvis leading 2-time winner Randy LaJoie and Joe Nemechek.
You know, you would expect LaJoie to run good here. This is kind of a racetrack where you got to put it pedal to the metal and hang on to it and let the rough side drag. And he's had a lot of success here over the last few years. There we go, down the back, guys. On the upside. Whoa, did he go over?
And it is the 33 of Tony Raines, who brings out the caution.
buddy. She was up in the air, but she didn't go over.
Here they come back to the line, and that front group fans out somewhat, but stays in line.
21 car trying to get a lap back, but he just couldn't quite make it.
Tony Raines had been fighting an ill-handling car for the last 40 laps.
I have watched him, and he has been in harm's way many, many times, and it finally caught up with him.
Fifth caution of the day, and that car went for a bit of a flyer down the back straightaway.
It really did. I thought he was going to. He's had so much trouble getting off of turn 2, and finally somebody got him off of that corner.
You see only a little bit of damage, and you see the left front corner where it dug in and came down. That's what bowed the hood up. And hard to believe after that ride, Raines going to get to keep racing this car. From the blimp, look right in the middle of your picture. Right there.
Look at that thing. Oh, my. Boy, what a ride. Kind of looks like Splash Mountain.
Darryl, you had commented he was really losing a lot of ground throughout the run there off turn 2. He just couldn't get off turn 2. It looked like it finally just come around with it.
Yeah, he's been fighting that car off that corner. I've been watching him, and he had bottlenecked people up behind him every lap, but he could go down the straightaway.
Watch this.
Here he comes.
You saw the roof flaps. The roof flaps come up, and that set him back down, and that's exactly what the roof flaps is supposed to do. There you see him deploy it again. Acts like a flap on an airplane. Sets the thing back down.
He's still driving.
Look at him. He's in caught a gear, and he's coming out of there.
Here's another angle. It's a little tip there from Scott Wimmer. That's all it takes.
The roof flaps did their job.
They really did. That's a great shot.
Looks like Connie Saylor's ride down the back straightaway about 25 years ago.
Dale Jr. had a little run that looked similar to that. Let's see if we can tell what happens here. Wimmer gets alongside of him and probably got into his left rear and turned him off the racetrack.
As you said, Darryl, he had been having to lift off the throttle coming off turn 2 each time, and that little loss of momentum, Scott Wimmer got a run and saw the end result. Wow, 18 laps to go here in the NAPA 300. This is NASCAR on Fox. Welcome back to the NAPA 300. Just one day left of waiting for the Daytona 500 on Fox. We are under caution with 17 laps to go. Again, here's the reason why. Tony Raines, wild ride.
We've been struggling with his car off of turn 2, and Scott Wimmer gets a run on him and gets into his left rear quarter. When he does, holy cow, look at that, Larry.
Now, have a look at just how quick. We'll speed this replay up. We'll just run it real time. This is actual time.
I think he's fortunate that grass back there was wet, too, because it didn't dig in and flip. It just kind of slid.
Raines has lost the exhaust system on his car, so they have pulled it to the garage. We'll be right back.
The NAPA Auto Parts 300 on Fox is brought to you by NAPA Auto Parts. NAPA, we keep America running. By Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's, improving home improvement. And by Dodge, and nearly 3,000 dealers who invite you to come see what's different.
Welcome back to Daytona. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds and Darrell Waltrip. It'll be 15 laps to go, and on this restart, the cars a lap or more down, led by Mike Dillon in 21, line up to the inside of the leader. Wonder how many of those leaders can get together and work out a deal to run single file and try to pull away from the pack.
I believe that 21 is going to mess up their strategy temporarily, because he took off there on the last restart, got in front of those guys, and they got to deal with him, and that could draw some other people into the play.
Nobody pitted on that last caution. Everybody had used their 3 checks up that they could use under caution. So everybody's on the same tires. We got a green flag.
Purvis, LaJoy, Nemechek, Jones, Green lead the field to turn 1.
mighty strong automobile today, boys. I mean, he's gonna be hard to handle. He's got sunshine on his shoulder.
4 cars out front. Jeff Green can't get past that lap car.
Boy, look at that line he took off that corner, Larry. He was right on the bottom, held it there all the way off. Didn't want anybody to get a run on him on the outside.
I think with this package, you definitely need to keep that car on the bottom of the racetrack. Make him go around you on the high side. Don't let him get the bottom of the racetrack.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's snaking that thing down through there, right on the bottom.
It is a 4-car breakaway. And scanning those 4 drivers and their crew chiefs, those 4 have made a deal to run together, single file, try and get away from the pack and settle it amongst themselves.
And what Purvis done, right there at the bottom of the racetrack, halfway down the backstretch, he's doing 2 things there. He's bringing that line with him, trying to break the draft on the pack behind him. Also, he's not letting those cars get a run on the inside of him.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, he gets off the corner so strong, he can use that power off the corner, and they can't get a run on him.
Let's crank it and give a listen as they thunder through turn 1 at 180 miles an hour.
Told him, switch to the backup box. There's not a rev limiter chip, so you can turn as much as 7,600 RPMs to ensure a good restart. And now the 7 is in the lead. Dick.
Brian Patty, crew chief for 87, Joe Nemechek. He's also with the 7 car that is just taking the lead with LaTroy. 1-1. What do you do from here, Brian?
Run the bottom. You have to run the fucking bottom.
Gonna try to run on the bottom.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's the answer, on the bottom.
Ken?
Well, back in the 60s, the battle royals of American motorsport were fought between A.J. Foyt and Parnelli Jones. And today, P.J. Jones looks like he may be in for his best finish yet in NASCAR racing. Running in 3rd, now dropping back to 4th in the number 1 car on the outside. Great finish, perhaps, in store for P.J. Jones, dropping another couple of spots. And incidentally, A.J.'s kid's back there in 23rd. Larry Foyt is very much a factor. 2 great racing names back in this 300 as LaJoie continues to lead with still some 27 cars in the lead lap. Mike?
10 laps to go. Here comes Purvis, fighting back for the lead on the outside.
Purvis got shook out of the lead, but he didn't like it. I don't know if he's going to be able to get himself back up there or not, though, because he's got LaJoie and Nemechek, who are teammates.
Boy, he got loose off turn 2.
And almost lost it. Here comes McLaughlin up on the inside of the 20 car, trying to put Purvis away. Matt Kent's a 17 right with him. Harvick drops back a notch.
This is where having 2 cars working together got rid of Purvis. The 7 and the 87 worked together and shook him right out of the lead.
So, Darrell, is Randy LaJoie right where you'd want to be?
You got it. I mean, he drove by what I thought was the fastest car on the racetrack. I believe he's got the car to beat now. Plus, he's got Joe back there now, you know, kind of protecting for him. So,
LaJoie won this race in 97 and 99. In 97, he also went on to win the Busch Series Championship. It's been decades since anybody else pulled that off.
Sure can't count Purvis out because I know that car is mighty strong, but you got 2 teammates right here working together. It's going to be hard to overcome that.
But you got two teammates right behind him, the two Gibbs cars.
Teammates against teammates right there, and they're all four Pontiacs.
Good point. Purvis and McLaughlin, Chase, LaJoie, and Nemechek. And when they come to the stripe, 8 laps to go.
You know, the theory's always been, Darrell, you don't want to be in the lead because you don't want to let them get a run on you. But as hard as it is to pass, I'm not sure I'm pretty comfortable with I want to be the leader with 8 laps to go.
Well, we've seen Purvis work the bottom really, really well, and he hadn't been very good up high. So we'll have to see if he can get up there and get on the outside. That's the only chance he's got. And he does that.
Whoa! Who just squirreled up Purvis? It looked like coming off the corner like his teammate McLaughlin got into him. That car just about came around.
See, I don't believe he can run outside, or at least he hasn't shown it.
Let's find out. Here we go.
I was wrong.
Purvis fighting side by side with Nemechek for second. Now LaJoie stays low to keep Nemechek in his trap. There's Nemechek's mom, Martha.
Mike, another guy's kind of sneaking back to the picture. Last year's winner, Matt Kenseth, in that 17 car, he's got himself in a pretty good position right now.
Kenseth is now coming up for third. Purvis up on the outside.
You can get out there and you can get up, you can make a run, but as long as they hold that bottom up like they're doing, I think I might get down on the inside.
Now Purvis still has McLaughlin with him, but here comes Kenseth on the inside, 17. He's Harvick with him.
Getting the push with Harvick, and then what we got to remember, even though the 21, the red car's a lap down there, Mike Dillon, that's Harvick's teammate.
You need a partner to dance at Daytona in the draft. Now you need your teammate lined up.
Funny how all these teammates ended up in the front at the end of the day,
isn't it? 6 laps to go. And all of this infighting here is just allowing those 2 Nemechek cars to get away.
They're looking back in the rearview mirror and loving it. So you guys just keep on running side by side.
All they're doing is sitting there catching their breath because they know they're getting ready to get in a dogfight here in just another lap or 2. But these guys will close back up on them.
Is that Don LaJoie? It sure is. With those double cross fingers. Short track great. Boy, he's working that pole. He's steering that pole real hard. Hanging on for Randy.
And what I'm impressed with Randy LaJoie in the 7 car, he's got 65 laps on his left side tires. Gerald, that thing can't be driving that good.
Well, they might have freed it up a little bit, Larry. Maybe it's making it run faster. Just freed it up enough through the corner that it's not banding the car down. He's getting a little better shot off the turn.
5 laps to go.
I know.
Dick Berggren.
They just called to LaJoie and they said, keep it on the bottom. They're telling him, keep it downstairs. No team orders here. Who's ever fastest is going to win amongst these 2 cars.
Now the outside is taken by Harvick. Rather Purvis pulling McLaughlin, trying to get back up on the outside. Taking the long way around.
Purvis is using that power off the corner to get even with him, but he can't. He doesn't have the straightaway speed that some of the other cars have. And that, again, could be from just a low gear.
Ride with Kevin Harvick.
But here comes, as Jeff said, Matt Kenseth. Hadn't been in the picture all day. Wasn't last year, but here he is. Those 2 Nemechek cars, they got good straightaway speed, and that's what's giving these guys a fit behind them.
They started together on the front row. And now 4 laps to go. The sun's shining. Hour and a half rain delay early on. We'll settle this one in 10 miles.
Kenseth can close up just like Purvis could off of the turns, but then on the straightaway, these 2 cars in the lead here, they seem to be able to open up a little bit of a gap, and that's what you want to feel and see.
And there's been no breakout by Nemechek. He's made no run on Randy LaJoie. And I think that, more than anything, is what's allowed them to keep this lead.
Oh, it has. He's got Randy right there where he wants him. He's pushing him along. Plus, he can protect the lead for him. So this is a perfect situation for a team owner.
I think Joe Nemechek knows the only thing that makes sense is being his team car as well is if he's going to make a run, don't give it to somebody else. Make a run, last corner of the last lap. If it works, it works.
Well, what he also knows is that LaJoie's going to run for the championship. He's going to try to run all the races, and this is just a part-time thing for Joe.
Well, if those 2 get side by side, would you want to be the 3rd place car? But they'd open up a big hole in the wind if they got side by side.
Well, what you don't want is just what Joe was having happen there. You don't want to fall back too far and get such a good run that you pull some of these other guys back up to your lead man.
Joe Nemechek has just been told they get 1-2, stay in line. We'll see if he obeys that order.
Martha just called him. Said, stay right there, son.
3 wide behind them.
Not a pretty 3 wide either.
No. Don LaJoie looking on. Jeff Green in the middle of that mess, right behind the front 5. 2 laps to go.
2 to go, boys.
Last Pontiac win in the series, May of 1998. Buckshot Jones, nearly 3 years ago. Oh, getting turned around.
No.
Nemechek.
It's Nemechek.
I believe he got into Purvis as well.
He did, and they will run to the caution. This will be the race. They'll take the caution and then complete it.
LaJoie's got his hands full. I'm telling you, that 2 car's got a run on him, and he's going to have to figure out which way he's going to go.
Randy LaJoie, Harvick looking high, looking low. LaJoie drops down, and at the caution, LaJoie leads them to the white flag. They will complete the final lap under yellow. Back in midfield, they're coming across 3 wide. P.J. Jones' car goes to pit lane, torn up in that battle on the backstretch.
Well, we got to take a look at that and see what happened. Here comes Purvis. His car's torn up. Nemechek, here he comes. Nemechek's car doesn't look like it's got much damage on it.
Flat left front on Purvis. Right front 2.
Looks like the rear end housing knocked way over to the right.
Let's have a look in the back
See what
straightaway.
happened over here.
Watch 87.
Nemechek. Kenseth got Nemechek got into his left rear. When Nemechek comes around, he got into the side of Purvis. Boys, I tell you, wonder it wasn't worse than it was.
Be amazing if everybody else got past that. Across goes Nemechek.
Good thing that's paved back there.
Yep.
Oh, Purvis. Almost was. I tell you, it's incredible that Joe was able to do what he did.
2-time series champion, Randy LaJoie. In 96 and 97, he was the champion of this series. After an abortive foray into Winston Cup, he came back to run the Busch Series. He says he likes racing on Saturdays and having his Sundays off. He's about to win this race for the 3rd time. He won for Bill Bumgarner in 97. He won it for James Finch in 1999. And now, taking the checkered flag, Norwalk, Connecticut, Randy LaJoie.
Buddy, he drove a great race. He can give his car owner and teammate some credit for that victory.
What a roller coaster day, though. Had to go to the rear of the field twice,
Yeah.
changed 2 tires, but everybody else changed 4, and did it with basically a brand new race team.
All right. Now, Joe's car's got some damage on the left side.
But he'll go to victory lane as the winning car owner. Randy LaJoie has scored his 14th career victory and his 3rd in the NAPA 300. Let's show you some onboard replays. First from Matt Kenseth.
This ought to be good. Running up on Joe. It looks like, I don't know if Joe started to try to move over and Kenseth was already there, or if Kenseth kind of got there. Kind of hard to tell.
From Jeff Purvis.
But here's the guy that, oh, man.
Where to go. He hits the outside wall as well.
2 great cars, 2 great runs. Purvis, what a great day. All for naught.
From Hamilton.
It's dark here. Wow. Man, what a way to go.
Jeff Purvis's car all torn up, as was his chance to win. We'll be back and meet Randy LaJoie in victory lane after this. Joe Nemechek congratulates his driver, Randy LaJoie, on his 3rd victory in the NAPA 300 at Daytona. Nemechek himself won this race in 1998. Go down to our Coca-Cola winner's circle. Dick Berggren.
Randy LaJoie for the 3rd time in 5 years. Tell us about that last lap.
Well, I thought Joe, my teammate, I got to thank the Nemechek family, Nemco Motorsports, Evans Motorsports, brand new race team. How about Kleenex? These guys have been around forever. now we bring them on board. Scott Proctor had to go down the side here. Goodyear, Shop Towels, I mean, everybody. Carl Wagner, we had a motor today that was good. Went to the back a couple times, had an air gun break, come back up. And then we had a tire get away from us, went to the back, come back up. Got to the front. Here's the car on our head. What a start. It's, you know, we had a little rain delay, but all in all, I mean, we're going to be here all year.
Did you not think this day was done when you kept having to go to the back of the pack with pit road problems, Randy?
No, that was my regular pit stop last year, so I didn't really think nothing of it. It was just same old, but I knew these guys give me an awesome Pontiac. I mean, this must be GM's victory lane because they won it 24 hours last week with their Corvette. I would have wished we could have had a Monte Carlo, but this is our Pontiac, and it was damn good today.
And Joe Nemechek, the team owner, Joe, you were right in the middle of a horrendous situation. What happened to you out there?
Well, we're trying to get this thing to finish 1-2, and Matt had a heck of a run coming on me, and just I tried to stay in front of him, and he had too big of a run. It just turned me around and just couldn't save it. I got to thank all the guys at Wagner Automotive. They built the power plants for these cars, and we've worked awful hard all year to get these things to run, and super job.
Nice job to both of you guys. Congratulations. Mike Joy.
Thanks, Dick. Randy LaJoy is the winner. Pontiac Grand Prix congratulates LaJoy and the wide track attack team on yet another victory. Wider is better. Here's a look at that winning moment, the winning pass.
Yes, sir. He set him up, and I think that what made that happen was his teammate. They doubled up on Purvis there, and they shot by, and Purvis didn't know what hit him because he had the bottom covered. He'd been running that real low line. All of a sudden, they shot up on the outside. I think it took him by surprise.
Randy LaJoy, the winner. He'll lead the points heading to Rockingham next week. We'll have that Busch race on FX. There's Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Green finishes fourth. Mike McLaughlin, first top 10 finish in this event.
McMurray, 11th there. That's a good run.
And Scott Wimmer, another
Wimmer. Jimmy Johnson back up there in the top 5.
Larry Foyt at top 20. And back through the field. This is just the first race in the NASCAR Busch Series.
Oh, what a shame. P.J. Jones run up front all day and then got in that wreck there, finishes 26.
And the 18 and the 87. 28th and 29th.
Next week, Rockingham, 2 weeks, Las Vegas, and you'll see those Busch Series races on FX. Also on FX at 5:15 p.m., Winston Cup Happy Hour. The final round of practice is coming up at 5:15 Eastern Time. And tonight on FX, Cops at 8 p.m. And then a special racing edition of America's Most Wanted, searching the killers of Chris Trickle and Mickey Thompson. Tomorrow, NASCAR This Morning. Get your engine revved up at 10 a.m. on Fox Sports Net. The Dodge Countdown to Daytona. Dodge returns at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Then the Dodge Daytona pre-race show. We'll interview drivers at noon, bringing you right up to the green flag for the 43rd annual Daytona 500 on Fox. For Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, Chris Myers, Ken Squire, Jeff Hammond, Dick Berggren, Matt Yoakum, Steve Burns, Jeannie Velasco, I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Randy LaJoy on his third victory in the NAPA 300. You've been watching NASCAR on Fox.